Hi and welcome to another detailed how-to tutorial video on my channel. And if you are into watch-related content, please subscribe. In the description part of this video, you'll have the steps through this detailed how-to tutorial, so if you want, you can jump through them using the description. Over here, we have the Gshock GA-140, and first in the row of explanations, I'm going to explain how to turn on the auto light. The auto light is basically an option of this watch. When you flick your wrist to see what's the time, it will automatically turn on the auto illumination. And this over here rectangle, which stands LT below it, is indication that the auto light is turned on or off. Pressing and holding the reverse button over here up top until this rectangle is lit up is indicated that this auto light function is enabled. Pressing it and holding it again to turn it off and to turn off that auto light. Now that would be the basics of the auto light function. Let's move on to the timekeeping mode. The timekeeping mode, over here you have the analog and digital subdials. To keep the time, you use these main two hour and minute hand, and the upper and the lower one circular digital subdial. There are two modes. In this mode, the upper screen shows the month and day, and the lower screen indicates the time, the day in English, and the seconds are counting below. Pressing the forward button, that's this button over here, will shuffle these two screens, the upper screen, to indicate the hour and minutes value. So basically, you have your analog time corresponding with the digital time over here. What are the screen indicators? As I said those two previously, this one is used for a stopwatch mode. Upper left and the upper right one are used for the stopwatch mode, and the lower left one is used for the it works on the same principle as the auto light. So when the snooze alarm or the alarm is turned on, both of these rectangular subdials will be lit up. And over here you have the hourly time signal. When the hourly time signal is turned on, this rectangle will be lit up. Those will be the screen indicators of this watch. What are the modes on this watch? Running or shuffling through the modes is done by pressing the lower left one, that's the mode button indicated on the outer bezel. So pressing the mode button once, we enter the stopwatch mode. Pressing it again, we enter the countdown timer mode. Pressing it again, we enter the world time mode. Again, the alarm mode. And pressing it once again gets us back to the standard timekeeping mode. Setting the time and date on the Gshock GA-140 is done like this. From the standard timekeeping mode, press and hold the adjust button until you hear a beep and a time zone starts to flash. And there it is, we heard the beep and our current time zone is flashing over here. Now, first in a row of settings is setting your city code or your time zone. And to shuffle between these time zones, press one of these two buttons, so reverse and forward. It will shuffle between the time zones. So currently it's set to Tokyo, but my time zone is Paris time zone. So let me get to that. So pressing each one of those two buttons will get the same to the same point, but I'm pressing the lower one. It doesn't matter. So there it is. That's my time zone. Once we have set the time zone, pressing the mode button once gets us to setting the daylight saving time mode, and I can turn it on or off by pressing the forward button. So pressing it once and pressing it again shuffles between on or off. I'm gonna leave it at off because it's currently off in my time zone. Pressing the mode button once again gets us to 12 or 24-hour time format, and I'm gonna get it back to 24-hour by pressing the forward button. Principle is exactly the same when you want to shuffle it back to the 12-hour time format. Pressing the mode button once again gets us to setting the seconds value. Now you cannot set the exact value of seconds, but what you can do is reset that value by pressing this button over here. So pressing the forward button resets the value of seconds. Next press of the mode button gets us to setting the hour value, and it's set correctly, so it's 23 o'clock. But to shuffle the value, press the reverse or forward button. So I'm gonna get it back to 23 o'clock. Next press of the mode button gets us to setting the minutes value, and currently it stands 24, but it's 23, so pressing the forward button, or sorry, the reverse button, gets us to 23. So pressing each one of those two buttons will get us to the time we want. Pressing the mode button once again gets us to setting the year value, and it is 2021. But to shuffle between the values, press or reverse or forward button. So pressing the forward or reverse button gets us to the value we want. Pressing the mode button once again, we enter the setting of month. So currently it is January and it's flashing 1 over here. But if I want to change it, press the reverse or forward button to get the exact value of month. Pressing the mode button once again gets us to setting the day value, and currently it's flashing 6th, and today is 6th. So pressing these forward and reverse button gets us to the time we want, but I'm gonna get it back to 6th. Pressing the mode button once again gets us to illumination duration, and the illumination can be LT1, which is currently flashing, or by pressing the forward button we can shuffle it to LT3. LT1 stands for duration of 1.5 seconds when I turn the light function, or the button to illuminate the screen, and LT3 stands for 3 seconds of duration of illumination when I press the illumination button. I'm gonna leave it at 1, so pressing the forward button once again gets me back to 1. Pressing the mode button once again, we get back to the beginning of setting the time and date, and basically we have run through the cycle of setting the time and date. Once we have done and we want to implement all of those settings, simply press the adjust button. And that's it, our time has been set correctly. Now the analog hands should correspond to the digital time on this upper screen. So it's 23:25 and they correspond. Hand home position correction. Now if you just heard what I previously said, that when you set your time and date, your analog time should correspond with your digital time up here, and if that doesn't happen, you have to correct your hand positions. Now how to do that? In the standard timekeeping mode, press and hold the forward button over here for at least 5 seconds until the 3 seconds until the sub flashes in the upper digital display. So here we go, pressing and holding it, and the sub is indicated on this screen over here, and you have hand set indicated on this screen over here. Now, first of all, you have to check the position of the speed hand. The speed hand is this hand over here, and the correct position of that hand should be exactly at 50. If it is not, use the forward button to move it to the hand in the clockwise fashion until it gets to 50. So just for demonstration purpose, I'm gonna run through the all of the dials so I get it back to 50, so you can see what I'm talking about. So my job over here is to align it properly at 50. So here we go, maybe pressing it once again we'll get it. Yes, there it is. So it's correct at 50. After confirming that the speed hand is in the correct position, press the mode button over here, and you have to check the hour and minute hands. The correct position of the hour and minute hands should be exactly at 12 o'clock, and as we can see on this watch, it is. But it's not. Use the upper button or the lower button to correct it. So pressing one of those two buttons will correct the value of your hour and minute hands. Once you are done with all of your settings, simply press pressing the lower left, the mode button, will return us to the first step. And once we are done with all of it, simply press the the adjust button once again, and the watch should implement all of those settings. How to use the stopwatch mode on this watch? I'm gonna run through the 3 steps of using the stopwatch, or 3 options to use the stopwatch, and that is to measure the elapsed time, lap time, and the split time over here. So let's go with the first entering the stopwatch mode by pressing the mode button from the standard timekeeping mode. So pressing it once, we enter the stopwatch mode. To how to measure the elapsed time, press the forward button to start it. Press the same button to stop it. And you have your 1000 units indicated on this screen over here. That's this digital screen that goes around this, around the dial on the upper part of the dial. You have it running over here and over here. That shows the 1/1000th of a second. Seconds, you have it over here showing the 100th of a seconds, and 1000th of a seconds is also indicated on this October screen over here. Your seconds are indicated over here, and the minutes above. Pressing the same button again will start it again. Pressing it again will stop it, and the adjust button will reset that value. How to measure the lap time? Press the forward button to start it. Press the adjust button to measure the first lap. Press the adjust button again to measure the second lap. Press the forward button to stop, and adjust button once again to reset the values. How to measure the split times? Press the forward button to start. Press the upper left button, that's the adjust button to split it. The same button to split release. Forward button to stop it, and adjust button to reset the value. Those will be the basics of using this stopwatch. The stopwatch is more complex, and it even has the ability to measure the distance and travel speed, but in this review I'm not gonna go through that. How to use the countdown timer on the GA-140. From the standard timekeeping mode, press the mode button once, twice, and we enter the countdown timer mode. So the countdown timer itself is pretty basic to operate, but first let's run through the steps of setting your countdown timer values. Your indicators are hours, minutes, and seconds. So how to set your time to count down? Press and hold the adjust button and hold it until you hear the beep, and the first 0 that starts to flash is setting the hour value. Pressing the reverse button or forward button increases or decreases the value. I'm going to leave it at 0. Pressing the mode button moves flashing to the minutes value, and I'm going to set it to let's say 10 minutes. To increase or decrease, press the reverse and forward button. Pressing the mode button once again gets us to the option to turn on or off the auto repeat. So the auto repeat is on when this is indicated on the screen. So this is the auto repeat on, and this is the auto repeat off. Once you have done with all of your settings, so you've set times for you to count down and decided if you want to auto repeat or not, simply press the adjust button, and we have set the value for our countdown time. Pressing the forward button starts the countdown timer. So the time is currently counting down. Pressing the same button again stops the value, starts the value, stops the value, and pressing the adjust button resets that value back to beginning. That is the basics of a countdown timer mode on this watch. Using the world time mode on the Gshock GA-140, from the standard timekeeping mode, press the mode button once, twice, 3 times, and we have entered the world time mode. World time digitally displays the current time in one of the 48 cities or 29 time zones around the world. Now there's an option for you even to swap your home city or your world time city on this watch. So how to shuffle between these time cities? Over here you have your city code or your time zone of one of those 48 cities is displayed over here, and you have your time in your secondary time zone. So pressing this forward button shuffles between the time zones. And so let's say I want to get back to the Tokyo time zone. I'm gonna keep pressing the forward button until I get to the Tokyo time zone. And there we are. We are at the Tokyo time zone. There's a cool option for you to even check the what's the date on your Tokyo time zone by pressing the upper left button. The watch will briefly show the date and it will get back to the time. So currently it's 7:45. By pressing the adjust button, we can see it's the 7th of January in Tokyo. Also, there would be a PM indicator if the watch is if the time is in the PM region. There's an option for you to set the in the world time mode. You can set the DST or the daylight saving time mode for that specific time zone. So pressing the and holding the adjust button for at least 3 seconds, you can toggle between DST turned on or off. And you heard the beep. The DST is turned on. I believe you can see it just on the tip of the hour hand, and pressing and holding it again turns it off. Now, as I said previously, there's an option for you to swap your home city and world time city. In the world time mode, we have selected our world time city, and now pressing the and holding the adjust and reverse button at the same time will shuffle that value. So pressing and holding it and holding it until the watch beeps basically swaps your home city for your world time city and your world time city for your home city, and you can shuffle between those two. I'm not going to go to that because the operation is pretty simple, and I have set my standard timekeeping mode correctly. Those will be the basics of the world time mode on this watch. How to use the alarm on this watch? Well, first of all, from the standard timekeeping mode, press the mode button once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and we have entered our alarm mode. So briefly, you saw that the ALM over here is indicated briefly. That indicates that we are in the alarm mode. So currently it says AL1. The alarms can go from AL1 to AL2, AL3, AL4, snooze, and the hourly time signal. So those values can shuffle on this screen over here. Over here you have your alarm time, hours and minutes, and the alarm number, and this is the indication whether the alarm is turned off. Now in this mode there are various helps, I would say, from the watch. And when the alarm is turned on, this rectangle over here will lit up. When the snooze alarm is turned on, the snooze alarm rectangle will turn up. And as well as the signal, hourly time signal is turned on, this rectangle just above the CSIG will also be lit up. Sorry for that. So how to scroll through the alarms? For pressing the forward button, I can scroll through those full alarms, snooze alarm, hourly time signal, and again back to alarm number 1. And as you can see, all of our alarms are turned off. But to turn on the specific alarm, let's say alarm number 1, simply press the adjust button once, and the alarm 1 is turned on, and that rectangle that I mentioned earlier is now lit up. Pressing the adjust button once again will turn it off. How to set the alarm value? So to set the alarm value, press and hold the adjust button until you hear the beep. And then now we are in the mode of setting your alarm value. So pressing the reverse and forward button, I can shuffle that value. Let's say I want to get it to 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock. Pressing the mode button, moves flashing to the minutes value, and I believe you can see it. It's in the hour hand region, but I believe you can see it. And pressing the reverse and forward button will increase or decrease the value of minutes. Once I'm done with setting the time or that I want to when I want my alarm to beep, simply press the adjust button, and our time is set, and automatically my alarm is turned on. Now when I want to turn it off, simply press the adjust button once. Pressing the forward button shuffles us to our alarms. Snooze alarm, when I want to turn it off, simply press the snooze alarm on, and it will lit up both of these screens. Pressing the adjust button once again turns it off. Pressing the forward button gets us to the hourly time signal, and when I want to turn it off, turn it on, simply press the adjust button, and the hourly time signal is turned on, and it's indicated on this screen over here. Again, turning it off, I simply press the adjust button once. Those would be the basics of the alarm mode on this watch. And that would be yet another detailed tutorial video on my channel. This time it was on the Gshock GA-140. Please subscribe if you are into watch related content. So thank you.